Today's subscriber shoutout goes to Zion, James, Caution and Tiago. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. If you want to be featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone and welcome back guys to round 8 of our F1 2021 My Team career mode. Yesterday we're here back ready for the British Grand Prix. Of course, our home race, the team's home race as well. Really looking forward to jumping into this one here today. And as you can tell on the timeline, we've got a lot of upgrades coming in as well, ready for this weekend. So really looking forward to it. Hopefully, all these upgrades are going to come in for us. We'll head toward the British Grand Prix and fingers crossed, we're going to...
I know we were expecting some new developments to come through, but some of them have failed quality control. We'll need to tell the team what to redevelop via the R&D screen.
I hate it here, man. I hate it here. Every single upgrade we do seems to fail at the moment. It's just so annoying. Can we get it sorted in time for Silverstone, though? No, we cannot. So we're going to have to wait for the Hungarian Grand Prix for at least one of the upgrades. Was the other one air or was it chassis? It must have been chassis, yeah, the roll dampers as well. That will also be done for Hungary, not Silverstone. Let's see if any of the other upgrades do go on successfully. And we've also got a durability department event.
I hate to drop this on you, but we could do with your expertise on this one.
So, it's time we had a chat about our work rates. Whilst we're doing extremely well and hitting all of our targets, we are seeing increasing rates of stress and burnout among our staff. They all want to see us do well whilst hitting our deadlines is good. We don't want to risk a sudden decline in performance due to overworked staff. I suggest we have a small circuit breaker in production to give the staff a chance to cool down. Thoughts? Yeah, that seems fair.
You handled that well. Thank you.
That's fine. Anyway, let's get on. We don't have much cash. We've got another failed part. I'm getting really annoyed with that. We also can't afford lung guard, apparently. It's all kicking off at once at the moment. Engine cover as well. We'll go with that. Ready for Hungary. Just in time, actually, for Hungary. Any upgrade actually going to work? No.
We had a major issue on the production line earlier this week, so the entire development package for this weekend has failed. Any redevelopments will need to be ordered from the R&D screen.
5 upgrades, and 4 of them have failed. Heading into this weekend, we desperately need to look at our durability. Before I forget as well, we have swapped out the engine. Yeah, I made an oopsie last time out. Can we afford any quality control? Yes, 1.2 million. So we'll go with that on the chassis side of things as well. So we have got level 1 quality control everywhere now, which is really important early on. You do not have enough cash to afford your teammates' contract renewal. I've remembered, we need to get a secondary sponsor in. We can afford one. We've got a high enough acclaim now. Now, normally with these, I just go for the most cash available in terms of weekly. 165 grand. Outqualify your rival. Our rival is currently Mick Schumacher. Thank you very much. You Terp, you're on the roster. All of that sorted though, let's head to the British Grand Prix. Well, after all those part failures leading into the weekend, we're going to have to be really careful now and really try and earn some R&D points.
DRS zone is coming up.
Ready for the summer break.
Distance is on your MFD.
We need a lot of points on the board over the next couple of Grand Prix, obviously here in Hungary before the summer break. But we have now officially overtaken real-life Formula 1. Of course, later on... How was that a miss as well? Of course, real-life Formula 1 this weekend at the British Grand Prix sprint race as well. Looking forward to that. We will have a special British Grand Prix videos going up over the weekend as well, of course. But yeah, at the moment though, focusing on this series. Coming to the end of our tyre wear lap. Nice purple score.
Job well done. We got some excellent data with that run, so come on back to the garage and I can talk you through the numbers.
Sergio Perez all over me as well as we head back down towards the first couple of corners. But yeah, getting some good scores in. Let's dive into qualifying. Here we are then, ready at the British Grand Prix, and it is looking beautiful weather here in Silverstone for Saturday's qualifying session. Meant to be a nice bright sunny weekend, just like real life as well here. So let's wait and see as to what can happen in qualifying. It's generally a track the AI very good at. Of course, we've got the AI are ready for this race as well, of course. So whether we'll make it into Q2 is going to be very, very difficult. I always think this track and Silverstone quite similar in terms of, sort of both very, very high speed, high downforce tracks. So we'll wait and see as to whether we can make it through Q2, because yeah, Austria last time round was not a particularly brilliant track for us as we get a little bit fishtaily out the first couple of corners. Do hold on to it though. In towards Maggots Beckett's then. Down one gear. Down the second. And down the third. It is so, so satisfying. I really haven't fallen in love with Silverstone on the more recent games when we got these high downforce cars. I've appreciated what everyone used to love about this track as well. The top guys already down into the 123s. We're definitely not going to be there. It hasn't been the best lap in the world. A little bit shabby in a couple of places, but down in towards the final couple of turns. What are we going to be able to get out of the car? There goes the 123. It's going to be about a 126 here in the end. A 126.9, yeah, is half second off Russell. So we need a bit more. Williams look to be a little bit more competitive this weekend though, which is nice. Right, heading out then for our second run. That's not quite the way we want to set ourselves up for it. But yeah, this time around we're going to have a nice clear track in front of us as well, which is really, really important. We need about another half a second if we want to get into P16 there. Giovinazzi has done a 26.1, so we need to be brave. Just struggling a little bit through these first couple of corners. It should be completely pinned, but I'm just a bit worried about the back end this time around there. It does grip up nicely. Down on the anchors at the curb. Oh, really chucked it over that first curb. Get it rotated back over and then fling it in through the exit of the loop. No wheel spin this time around. No dramas. That's what I like to see. I'm already almost a 10th up. So we head down the Wellington straight here. Let's see what we can do in towards Sector 2. Right, just as you reach the 50. Really try and take a lot of curb through the first spot. And then keep the car nice and tight for the second is the way I prefer to go through there. About 2/10 up now. So we head in towards the old start-finish straight. Still about quarter of a second up at the moment, so we just need another couple of tenths in the second half of the lap. Old turn 1 is not flat out in this car. I'm going to change down to 7 and just blend the throttle through there in this thing. Back through Maggots and Beckett's though, once again. Down the 1 gear. Down the second. Down the third as well. That time was a lot better though. Really got it over the inside curb and then use the exit curbs as well. They usually chuck it down the hanger straight. Of course, so many iconic scenes at this part of the lap. Get it back over to the left-hand side. Dab on the brakes then, nudge the grass actually on the way in. We're going to run very, very deep, take a lot of curb on the exit there, a little bit ragged as we head in towards the final couple of corners. Avoid the curb, I take that one though a lot. Avoid the exit curb as well. We are going to be about half a second up. It's going to be P17 at the moment. Fractions behind George Russell. Still 3/10 behind Gio though. We'll get one more run and it will be our last run of the session. But at least we're a bit more competitive. So unfortunately, by the time we do get back to the pit lane here, we're not going to be able to go out for another run. So I think we're just going to have to see what other people do and see if we end up moving down the order at the end of the session there. Someone else has gone quicker. Who's that? No. Giovinazzi is still 16th there, so I don't know what that was all about. Oh, he's 17th in the standings. Sorry, I can't read. It appears on Formula 1. But yeah, anyway, that's going to be the end of our qualifying though. Unfortunately, yeah, not quite enough to get into Q2 there. But 18th place, if we can stay here, I wouldn't mind too much. That 23.9 was an absolutely phenomenal time by Valtteri Bottas there. But we do get relegated back down to P20 by the end of the session there. But I mean, yeah, Giovinazzi all the way down to Mick Schumacher, separated by 3.5 tenths of a second there. It's going to be very, very bunched up here at the start of the Grand Prix. We need these upgrades in if we want to get closer to the likes of the Alpha Tauris and the Alpines again. Let's head then here into the British Grand Prix.
Great Britain then, one of only 2 countries to have held a Grand Prix in every single year of the Formula 1 World Championship. And the circuit extends that record further for today's Grand Prix. Straddling the border of Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, the 18 corners of the Silverstone circuit form the 3.6-mile beating heart of Formula 1. It's been reinvented over the years, with Turn 1 now the fast right-hander of Abbey, but the magic of racing is as strong here as it's ever been. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let me ask you about Aston Martin. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Ricciardo, Norris, Max Verstappen and Leclerc, Perez, Sainz, Vettel and Lance Stroll, Gasly, Fernando Alonso, Yuki Tsunoda and Ocon, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Christian Lundgaard and Nikita Mazepin, Russell, Mr. Monaco, Mick Schumacher and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Okay, I know it's your home Grand Prix, but treat it like any other race. Don't take unnecessary risks.
That's it. We're dive bombing everyone down in towards turn 1. Jeff said it's okay. I think that's what he said anyway. Let's dive in then to the British Grand Prix, though, round 8 of the year. Again, strategy should be pretty simple around this circuit. A one-stop here, soft to medium. The team saying the soft to hard could be possible. But again, tyre wear hasn't been brilliant so far this weekend, I'll be honest. If we can get the softs 11, 12 laps, then do the remaining 14 or 15 on the mediums, I'll be pretty happy with that. But let's dive in then to our home Grand Prix here, round 8 of the year. Starting from P25, red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go. Look at that for a start, thank you very much. We'll have straight away a couple of spots there as we head down towards turn 1. Lundgaard's had a rocket ship start as well. As we head in towards the first corner there, Mazepin tries to hang us on the curbing, but we won't have any of that, thank you very much. And down in towards turn 3 as well, up the inside of Giovinazzi, so it's been a dream start for both of the 2-2 Motorsport cars here as we think about having a look around the outside of Kimi Raikkonen there. I think Giovinazzi just nudged us on the exit of the corner there, but look at that, Lundgaard and Raikkonen tripping over each other. Can we make it 3 wide? As we head down the Wellington Straight there, Lundgaard tries to come across me. Raikkonen is going to go a bit defensive in towards the next corner there. They're so close to contact between all of us there, but that is 20th to 16th off the start of the British Grand Prix here at Silverstone. I'm sure the crowd are loving that as well there as we head down in towards the old turn 1 as well. You see everyone just filing through, even with the dirty air though. A big old lift there, and look at that! Where on earth has Giovinazzi come from? He was nowhere, and then suddenly he's just flying back past us on the exit of the corner there. It's a chaotic start to this Grand Prix there. Lundgaard tried to have a look back past us as well, so clearly struggling a little bit still with confidence through the corners. So we've got so much top-end speed in this car. We're going to come straight back at Giovinazzi as we head down the end of the hangar. Straight here, down the inside we go, and nothing Giovinazzi can do in that situation. They're straight back up into P16 of the Grand Prix. Now we need to try and hang on to the guys in front and get some DRS there. Bottas leads at the end of lap 1 as he continues his march to try and close down Hamilton's gap at the top of the title. But yeah, up 4 spots. On to lap 3 though of this Grand Prix, and we're still just trying to hang on to Kimi Raikkonen early on in this race. If we don't get the DRS and everyone behind us does, we are in a world of hurt throughout the entirety of this afternoon there, and it doesn't look like we have this time around there. So Giovinazzi now is definitely going to be able to apply more pressure on us over the next few laps.
They have some kind of mechanical problem.
Oh, that's going to help us out, I suppose. People have got to be careful what they say around me in Formula 1 now, if I can jinx them like that. But that might bring Raikkonen a little bit closer to us once again. That Alfa Romeo, it's always Raikkonen who seems to be able to hang on to the midfield, whilst the other 7 of us just battle it out as the back markers here. But he just hasn't had the luck of the green so far this year anyway. Raikkonen is now definitely falling back into our clutches, which has certainly been a bit of a lifeline in this Grand Prix early on. Obviously, we have got the whole fresh engine in the back of the car as well this weekend. But still, yeah, just struggling. Obviously, I was really counting on all those upgrades to arrive here for Silverstone, and they just have not come. Obviously, they'll all be definitely on the car ready for Hungary next time out. But this track, yeah, is so dependent on having the confidence in the car. We need those upgrades to increase the stability there. Hopefully now, though, if Raikkonen continues to have mechanical gremlins, we can try and get past him there. As Lundgaard actually trying to make a move on Gio behind us. Too sure if he's pulled that one off in towards the final chicane. A little bit of getting close together between the pair of them, but I don't think... Yeah, Lundgaard, I think... Has he done it? They're still side by side behind us. Surely he's going to get it back down in towards turn 1. We'll continue to have a look behind us. Yes, he has, as Giovinazzi. No, he's now battling Mazepin. Come on then, Raikkonen. Let's see what you got with your damaged car. Up the inside we go. Feels a little less of a spectacular move. Just because no, we probably wouldn't have been able to hang with the Alfa Romeo had he not had these issues. It's really allowed the guys in front though to get away though. 4.5 seconds now. See what Ocon and his Alpine up the road there. It doesn't seem like it's going to be Alpine's weekend either. But I think now, yeah, we've just got to try and settle down and pray that we get a safety car. Try and bring us closer for those guys and then see if we can hang on again. But king of the back markers for now, we'll have to take it. Heading on to lap 9 though of this Grand Prix, now crossing over about 1/3 distance. Team of course remind us that we are going to be on the mediums soon in this Grand Prix, but we are still edging away from our teammate Christian Lundgaard at this stage of the race. But just really, really difficult still, feeling like we're taking a lot out of the tyres, which I was worried about pre-race. But yeah, we're still just slowly building up that gap by, you know, sort of a tenth or two each lap.
About tyre condition for now, everything's looking good. The gap to the car ahead is 7.7 seconds.
I would love if we could just get a word in edgeways at some point, Jeff. I love the fact he's completely disagreeing with me there. We are sliding all over the place in a couple of the corners, but we're trying to manage the ERS as well, of course. We're trying to use a bit of it, obviously, to help us out. But on the other hand, of course, that was definitely a bit wide. Could feel the understeer before we turned in. But of course, don't want to then feel vulnerable if we do make a small slip up, and then we've got nothing to defend ourselves with. We've got the first few cars into the pits at the end of lap 10. So at least we have been able to go as far as pretty much everyone else in this Grand Prix on their tyres. We might get one lap running up in the points as well, which might be nice for us. And the team here at our home Grand Prix certainly doesn't look like, unless something crazy happens in the second half, points are going to be possible here as we get a little bit loose and lively.
So push now.
So we are going to be boxing in at the end of this one though. Certainly don't want to take these tyres any further than this, I don't think, in this British Grand Prix, and certainly don't want to trip over our teammate Lundgaard as well, of course, when he undoubtedly wants to pit pretty soon after. Gap almost up to 3 though, as he's still locked into battle with Giovinazzi. So we're doing alright. Ricciardo's up in a net P2 of this Grand Prix there, as Bottas is going for another lap here at Silverstone, so he's really trying to extend his first stint of this Grand Prix. He's getting himself some fresh rubber for the second half there, but into the pits we come. Got to be really, really careful here at Silverstone. Of course, very, very slow pit lane. There we go, nice and tidy on the way in there, thank you very much. So yeah, we will come in. We've got a couple of seconds over the likes of Mazepin and stuff, which is really, really important in this Grand Prix. And with a bit of luck, all these guys are going to lose that bit more time by having to stay out one lap longer there. You can see already, though, everyone else in the pits miles ahead of us, though. I think the gap to Ocon had just ticked over 10 seconds by the time we did make our stop. So yeah, really not ideal at the moment. We certainly need a lot more pace from the car.
Exit now. We're racing on the
Holy moly! 1.8 from the team. Thank you very much. New world record. We'll have that. Yeah, you could tell they just went super saiyan on that pit stop. Anyway, heading back out.
Last stop. No
Don't
more
Grosjean it.
pit stops.
Don't Grosjean it. Come on, straighten up. That's going to cost us all the time we just gained from that lightning pit stop. But back out onto the mediums. Let's make sure we do come back out in net P16. And let's get this thing to the end of this race. There we go, we have got most of the other runners onto their onto their pit stop even, I should say. Shouldn't be going on to softs, they should be going on to mediums to the end of the Grand Prix there. However, Schumacher in his Haas has actually gone hards for the second half of this race there. That's a lot of curb through the penultimate corner. Come on, get the power down. Thank you very much. But yeah, we're back up though into, should be P16 of this Grand Prix, P15 even. Sorry, I forgot, of course. Can't do maths here on F1 2021. We've actually, yeah, the gap to Lundgaard though has stayed about even, which is alright considering the nightmare we had on pit exit. We got yellow flags out here at the British Grand Prix. Please don't let that be our teammate Lundgaard with issues. It's certainly one of the back markers. As we head through the old turn 1, I think. Oh, it looks like it's Raikkonen then out of the British Grand Prix.
Got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
Looks like he has been able to park it up somewhere sensible, as Bottas must be on a set of the mediums for the start of this Grand Prix, because there's no sensible way he's gone that far there. Yeah, Raikkonen's already off the circuit, so we're not going to get a safety car. I think we're just going to try and bring this thing home, as we're only at half distance. Might not end up being the most exciting second half of this Grand Prix. Less than 10 laps to go then here from the British Grand Prix, and at the moment, the only real thing that's happened that I've noticed is Giovinazzi has got back past our teammate Lundgaard in this Grand Prix. Christian's just dropping back a little bit again. Just a few tenths lap after lap. But Gio, he's hanging on with us, about holding up about 2 seconds at this stage of the Grand Prix. Their Bottas still setting fastest laps at this stage of the day. It looks like he's going to be able to try and take home the British Grand Prix. But for us though, unless, yeah, we get a safety car, I think we might just see you guys on the final lap. Not the most exciting way, but that's Formula 1 sometimes, and you guys know I like to keep it realistic in this series. 5 laps to go here from Silverstone, and I'm just getting a little bit worried that gap to Giovinazzi has started coming back down by just a couple of tenths a lap. Saying that though, we've got yellow flags out. Don't say that's Bottas. Valtteri Bottas falling to the wayside here from the lead of the British Grand Prix, if I'm not mistaken, and that must be absolute heartbreak for the Finn there. He has dominated this race up to that point there. And Hamilton might have just been gifted a British Grand Prix victory here. Poor Valtteri Bottas, like I said, he's dominated the race there, led on the harder tyres early on, had the fresher, quicker rubber in the second half of this Grand Prix, and with just 5 to go, he has fallen to the wayside. That's going to give us P14 in this Grand Prix, but still, yeah, I don't think it's going to be enough to change much. There is the stricken Mercedes halfway down the hangar straight. That must be absolutely heartbreaking for poor Valtteri Bottas here. But Giovinazzi, though, the gap now hovering at around the 1 second mark. That's not what I want.
Green flag, we're racing again.
Well, there's no doubt about it now. With just 3 laps to go here from Silverstone, we are definitely going to have to be on the defensive from Antonio Giovinazzi. The gap now down to just 4 tenths of a second, as he's just going to get DRS absolutely everywhere here. I do not want to give up this position. We need to prove ourselves as best of the back markers this weekend after the catastrophic blow last time around at Austria. A lot of it as well is, you know, home Grand Prix and all that.
Still looking good.
Team saying the tyres still looking good. I'm not convinced at this stage. That's certainly not very good through those first couple of turns. When we're draining all the battery down the straight, I think we've just about got enough to defend from Antonio here. But that thing, yeah, is an absolute missile around the lap. Weirdly enough, I'm actually most worried about him through the old turn 1, because that's where he seems to gain a load of time on me. So we're really having to defend on the exit there. But hopefully, yeah, luckily we've saved enough battery throughout most of the Grand Prix. 2 to go, we might just be able to hold on.
Gap to teammate behind is 2.0 seconds.
Coming around the final couple of corners then, ready to start the last lap of the British Grand Prix, and it's certainly got a little bit more spicy at the end than I thought it would. Giovinazzi's still trying to apply the pressure, even on this final lap of the Grand Prix as we head back down through turn 1. They're actually downshifting, just keep some rear end stability in the car. And look at that, Giovinazzi trying to look to the outside through the first couple of corners. Is he going to be able to get a switch back on us through the loop? He's again going to try and have a look for it on the exit of the corner there. We've destroyed this set of mediums over the course of this stint, and we're going to have to go defensive on him as we head down the Wellington straight here. Giovinazzi, is he going to have enough? We're going to have to keep the nose there at the inside. Giovinazzi spots us, gives us the room. It's a bittersweet race victory for Lewis Hamilton there. He knows he probably didn't deserve this one here today. Bottas absolutely controlled this race from the front there until just a few laps to go. But as we head up in towards the old turn 1, this is like where I said Giovinazzi is so strong. We're going to have to park it on at the way in there. But even then, look at the way the Alfa Romeo picks up traction on the exit of the corner there, having to use our battery just to defend from him. As look at that, Giovinazzi tries to have a stick the nose in up the inside through Magnus and Beckett's there. He's going to have the DRS once more as we head down the hangar straight here. We're going to have to go defensive on him, force the Alfa Romeo to the outside in towards the final couple of corners here. But Giovinazzi's trying it. Don't say he's mugged me off. We're still side by side as we head in towards the final couple of corners of this British Grand Prix. Stamp on the brakes, but it's a bit too late there. Can we get the car back on the road? It's a very, very aggressive defence of the position, but you know what? I'm having it.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
The Mercedes team pulled out a fantastic performance today. They should be proud. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again. Let's see how the driver standings have changed. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Mr. Monaco. They demonstrated a very delicate touch in close proximity to other cars, as well as showing a lot of maturity and patience in difficult situations.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. It was a tough race for our championship leaders who lose ground at the top of the table. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, a double British podium isn't too bad going at the end of the day. That Hamilton with another race victory there. But yeah, both McLarens as well onto the podium this weekend. There's a mega job done by the British-based squad as well there. Things that you love to see at the end of the Grand Prix there. But yeah, Hamilton takes the win, fastest lap as well, 26 points. That is going to be a huge championship lead for the Brit there. Daniel Rick in P2 ahead of Lando. You got both Red Bulls in 4th and 5th with Charles, Vettel, Sainz, Stroll and Gasly rounding out your point scorers there. But 23 seconds off the Alpines. We need to find a second a lap at the moment to try and close up to the cars in front of us there. But we do come through as best of the back markers and a cheeky driver of the day as well. We will be pretty happy with that one there. Bottas and Raikkonen, the two Finns, the only ones not to make it to the end of the Grand Prix there, and I'm sure Russell getting jumped by his teammate Latifi is not the way he would have wanted to finish in today's running as well there. Championship-wise though, 58 points the gap for Hamilton after we leave Silverstone this weekend there. Ricciardo gets the jump on Lando by just 2 points as well. Sergio gets the jump on Max by just 1 point as well in their championship battle. Any other movers down the rest of the order? I don't think so at the end of the Grand Prix there. Constructors-wise though, Mercedes still 100 clear of McLaren, who are just inching away from Red Bull at this stage of the year there. Aston still in P4 ahead of Ferrari. That's going to be a good battle to watch out for. And then Alpine, AlphaTauri there, and of course us and Alfa Romeo still tied on 4 points apiece there. Williams with the 1, and Haas still the only team yet to score at the end of the day there. But thank you all so much for watching this video once again. Like I said, if you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like and get yourself subscribed as well, of course, for more content coming on the channel. Apologies, you know, we've been a little bit quieter with videos over the last couple of days, just slowly toning it back down and trying to find a bit more sort of regular consistency with the videos nonetheless. But we'll be back tomorrow, ready for round 9 of the year. We head to the Hungarian Grand Prix. You guys do not want to miss it. None of these videos could be possible without the support of our channel members, so a massive thank you to the Travesty, Patrick, Chuan and David Bennett for becoming channel members. You can join them and be featured in these end clips by clicking the join button down below.